Today we're going to be looking at the Oris Aquis Caliber 400 and comparing it to the current generation of the Aquis Date. I own the limited edition Lake Baikal that I absolutely love. It really is no secret that the Aquis, in my eyes, is one of the best contemporary designs from any Swiss diver. I love the detail work. I love the color play. I think this is a very strong value proposition at its entry-level luxury price point. And I want to answer the question here, is this new Caliber 400, is it worth the premium? Is it a better product? Or is it just too expensive? We're going to talk about the details here, and I'm going to give you guys my opinion. And just keep in mind, it's my opinion. So before we jump into it, I'd like to thank Richard of Saltzman's Watches for lending in this Oris Aquis Caliber 400. I've been really looking forward to getting my hands on one of these new movements. So big thank you to Richard. A link to his site, his contact information is in the description of this video. Now let's talk differences between these two watches. The new in-house caliber is on the left. My own Lake Baikal with the lighter fume dial is on the right. Before we talk about the movement, let's talk about the dial changes because there is some subtle differences that I think are interesting. If you look at the logos, the old logo is large. The new logo, it's the same font, but it's been scaled down. And I like the new size. I think it makes the dial look a little bit smaller visually and a little bit sharper aesthetically. Now there is an addition of an extra line of text above the date at the 6 o'clock position. A lot of you guys know I don't really like extra text on a watch. This certainly is not at the Tudor Pelagos level of a paragraph of text, but I think it is a bit much, and that might be the contemporary minimalist in me talking. I do like simplicity, but certainly aesthetically, it looks sharp. We have the model name, and then below that is the widest portion of text, and then each line gets progressively smaller as it goes down the face of the dial. So it does kind of create a natural arc with the form, the void space in between the text and the applied markers. So aesthetically, it looks sharp, but personally, I could do with a bit less text. And then if you look at the date, because of the changes in the movement, the in-house movement carries a larger date wheel, and it's also spaced further from the hand stack. So it's toward the edge of the dial. And now we have the elimination of the half applique or applied marker at the 6 o'clock position. So I like the spacing, I like the larger date, but I almost think it's not quite as balanced aesthetically as having that half marker. Let me know what your guys' opinion is there. But I like the subtle differences here with the new in-house caliber. Now, speaking of the movement, again, this is the Caliber 400, very toolish and utilitarian in its finishing. It's enhancing the idea that this is a workhorse tool movement. This isn't a dive watch. This isn't traditional beauty that you would see with Côtes de Genève and engine turn perlage work with blued screws. This has an austere beauty to it, but the specs is the most impressive part here. So we now have a 10-year warranty, 10-year recommended service interval, which really is, I think, industry leading right now. It's raising the bar a little bit. I think the previous leader was a few Richemont groups that had an 8-year warranty. This one, 10-year, is very impressive in my opinion. We now have 120 hours of power reserve, which is roughly 5 days, and that is held in twin barrels. So each barrel can roughly hold 2.5 days of power for this movement. And that really puts the 38 hours of the Sellita caliber within my Lake Baikal. It really puts that to shame. And I don't know about you guys, but some days, some of my watches, I mean, they sit in the watch box or in the safe for a few days. And so it's nice to know that if I had this watch, I wouldn't have to wind it. I wouldn't have to put it in a winder. I could just set it down and then, 3, 4, 5 days later, I could pick it back up again and it's going to be keeping time. Now, probably the most exciting feature here in regards to practicality will be the anti-magnetic properties. This was tested to 2,250 Gauss, and it only deviated with 10 seconds of deviation. So that's impressive. 2,250 is far more than you will encounter in everyday activities. So I love the anti-magnetic properties. There are 30 different components that are anti-magnetic, including a silicon escapement, which you guys can see right here. And also, one of the advantages to a silicon escapement is there is no need for lubricating oil on those touch points, which I think is really nice. So this movement carries 21 joules, 28,800 beats per hour. It does have an instantaneous date change feature. And if you look at the architecture of the movement, the way this is designed, there is a hint of a bear in form with the 2 joules, part of the barrel wheel sticking out and the skeletonized rotor. And as a lot of you guys know, there's a bear as the mascot for this brand. So I don't know if that was intentional or if we're just seeing things as watch enthusiasts, but I think that's pretty fun. And then lastly, this is not certified by the COSC as a movement, but as you guys can see, this is adjusted to 5 different positions. So that is nice. Now, Oris USA reached out to me a couple days ago while Saltzman's had already sent this Caliber 400. It was in transit. In Oris USA, they asked me if I wanted to review the new movement. They could send me one. And I told them, well, you know what? I've already got one incoming, but if you're open to it, I would love a long-term review video working with you. So if you want to send me the Caliber 400, I'll wear it for 30 days and do a video like 30 days wearing the new in-house movement from Oris. And so that is in transit now. I'm going to be sending back this example to Saltzman's, but I will be getting another one from Oris. And that one we're going to wear, and we're going to wear every day. And I'm going to report back to you guys what this movement is like day to day in terms of accuracy. We're going to test the power reserve. Can it really go 120 hours? We're going to do all of that. So stay tuned if you're interested. That will be coming within the next couple weeks. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. I think that's going to be great. Now let's talk about one other change as we wrap up the video. And that is Oris has added a quick release system here for the integrated bracelet design. I'll demonstrate how you operate that. On the flip side of the watch, there's a small area for you to slide your fingernail under, and then just with a tiny amount of pressure, you can disengage the catchment system and unhook the bracelet from in between these angular, linear, powerful lugs. It takes a number of seconds. It's very easy to do, and I think this is a welcome addition. I know there are some watch enthusiasts out there that really enjoy changing out a strap, changing the feel of a watch in a matter of seconds, and this will aid you in doing that. So I do like that. If you look at the side profile between the current generation Aquis and this new Caliber 400, you'll notice there is just a bit of a difference in between those lugs to accommodate the new quick release system. So let's look at the watch as a whole and answer that question. Is the price increase justified? Is the model better now? Or is it just too expensive and you would rather go out and buy a different luxury priced watch? Let me give you guys my opinion. With the addition of the 10-year warranty, the 10-year service interval, the 120 hours of power reserve, the 5-position adjusted movement, the anti-magnetic properties, the quick adjust system, for roughly a little over $1,000, yes, I do think that is completely justified. And I look at the price point, even at retail, at $3,500. And bear in mind, when you buy one of these from an authorized dealer, you will be able to negotiate a discount. So it's going to be actually less than this retail price. But even at retail, I look at its competitors, and there's really not anything out there that's offering as much for your money. The best one I could think of is the Tudor Black Bay 58, which, if you're into the retro design look and the more diminutive size, that one is a very strong offering, but it's not going to be for everybody. And you certainly won't be able to get a discount on one of those if you can find it available at your authorized dealer. I think the next best watch is going to be over $1,000 more expensive, and that is the Omega Seamaster Professional. I'm a huge fan of that watch. I think it's a great contemporary design, just like I love the contemporary design of this Aquis. But again, it's quite a bit more expensive. And at the price point, at around $3,000 up to $3,500, I don't think there's another brand giving you more value proposition or more for your money. I think this is as close to a perfect package as you will find. And so that's really strong. What are those areas for improvement though? I don't want to come across as being biased here. There are two things that I think could enhance this Aquis date. And one of them is the anti-reflective treatment. It's subpar on this model. Yes, there's some nice light play, there's some visual interest, but it gets borderline distracting, especially in natural light. Even my camera has a difficult time focusing in on the details of the dial because it wants to focus in on the crisp, defined reflections off of the domed sapphire crystal. So I'd like to see better ARC. And then the only other thing will come down to personal preference, and that is I would like a quick micro adjustment system in the milled clasp. I think that would enhance day-to-day wearability, especially in the summer months. But apart from those two things, I really believe that the value is here. This is as strong as an offering as you're going to get. I like the fact that they're independently owned. I love the design language, the detail, the color play, the value, the new movement, the warranty, all of the stuff we've talked about in this video. I'm excited. So what am I going to do personally? I'm going to be letting go of my Lake Baikal. I love the Lake Baikal, but this Caliber 400, it raises the bar and it's noticeable in person. I like the subtle details, the enhancements, the changes. So I'm going to be letting go of my Lake Baikal and replacing it with the Caliber 400 in my own watch rotation. So stay tuned for that. Also, stay tuned for that 30 days with the Caliber 400 review that will be coming soon. And let me know if there's something specific you would like me to cover when I do that long-term review or that 30-day review. So thanks for watching today. I know we went a little bit long. Thank you if you're still here. You're one of the few that sticks it out to the end, and I appreciate that. If you guys are shopping for an Oris, there's going to be a link in the description to Saltzman's watches and Richard's contact. Richard is the best authorized dealer that I've worked with in terms of discounts. So if you're looking for an Aquis or a Breitling or a Tag Heuer, reach out to him, have a conversation. He'll take good care of you. All of that is in the description. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.